3 into our new fucking season. I can't believe we made it, guys.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, the triplet.
That's us.
That's the title of show, everybody.
Did you guys notice last week when I was like, there's a short blonde woman, Norwegian woman who serves aquavit? Did you guys?
It's you.
Oh, wait. I just got it.
No one. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys.
I know you get
but
it.
then I didn't do my voice at all. Well, I did, but I don't know.
Listen, who here is using their actual voice except during banter? Welcome to hell, everybody. We're all in it.
Welcome to hell. It's so true.
It's so funny though, because with season 1, I was like, all right, I am Astrid Nyberg, who could say? I've heard it both ways. But like that accent was accessible for me.
Yep.
And then I was like, all right, we're going back to England, so what kind of accent could I have?
Yeah.
Like,
I love
there's
it.
so much.
Oh, yeah. As soon as we start talking together, I like lose my accent completely. And I go into 2 different accents. It's either Henrik, which happened. I was so worried about that. And it happened last episode. I go into Henrik. I slip into like Irish. Or I go into just Australian because that's my comfort zone. So, yeah, I just get like really lazy. And I'm like, no, reel it back. It's hard.
I personally think, though, that you both sound great.
Thanks, Ellie.
And I don't say that like I'm not being facetious. Whoop, big word. I am being honest.
Oh,
Super
thanks, Ellie.
honest. And my opening topic for this week is actually something that Anne brought up behind the scenes as we were, yelling about Sydney's upload speeds being 3.5 megabytes or megabits.
So they're fucking abysmal right now. I don't know what's happening.
But when you
Porn.
hear this, you won't even be able to tell.
Yeah, that's true, because I've been editing the shit out of these episodes to like fix the lag. So every time you hear like awkward laughter, it's because I moved it there. Like that. I'm fixing it right now. But I am my opening topic will be, how are you guys feeling?
About the game?
About life? About you?
about the game. We are the triplets, the 3rd episode in. How are you guys feeling about the setting of this game? Still, like, are you feeling England? Are you feeling? I know we were talking about accent issues. Do you think that takes away from the game, or do you think it's fun?
I think it's fun. I think to an extent, like, I have to settle into my accent. Every character I play, I think I settle into them as I continue to play them. I was telling Ellie this, like, some things I don't know about them until it comes up in the game, and then I'm like, maybe like, oh, I could use that for later, like, oh, this makes sense now, I connect all these dots. But I think, like, I just chose, like Anne said, I also chose a hard accent. Like, I can do a British accent, but I was like, you know what, let me do like a Cockney sort of like lower class accent, and it's fucking hard. Like, there's so many different dialects in the UK. But it's fun for me, and I think as long as we don't lose the story to the accents, it doesn't like detract. Hopefully the listeners are agreeing. Hopefully it doesn't detract from it, but I think it's fun and silly.
I feel like the accents kind of allow me to be a little rougher around the edges, because I didn't want to fall into the trap of just like being posh and being, a part of that side of society in this game. And so the accent allows me to make these kind of weird, rough noises that like that's kind of what settles me into the character being a little rougher around the edges, not being maybe as smart, but having an understanding of how people work. That's kind of like what I wanted to explore with this character. And I feel like as we move through and explore, it is becoming less about us settling into the characters and more about how our characters are settling into the mystery.
What I like with the two of you, though, is that you both have now brought in 2 very like down to earth lower class women. Not necessarily lower class for Lydia if she's an officer, but like more, not upper class. Neither of them are upper class. Both of them really different from your first season's characters. But what I said to you also earlier was that we're going to play it more by the rules this game. There's not going to be as much plot armor.
So don't love them.
Don't love them. Well, more like, don't be mad at me if you make a dumb decision that'll kill him, is all I'm saying. And speaking of bad decisions, you're now standing in front of Newford House. What do you do?
Is that lady
Oh,
still
yeah.
looking at us from the window?
You see her, yes. She's drinking tea and observing you.
I am just going to start walking as if I'm walking the dog along the road and not, drawing attention to the fact that we're just in this strange standoff, staring at her with her staring back at us.
Yeah, I think I just continue walking with you, but I don't know if it would be allowed, but can I do like some sort of observation, or I don't know if it would be investigation, but maybe like
Vigilance? Like what do you want to
I'm
find
trying
out?
to determine with my police mind of like working in the force how many people might be in this house. Does the house seem like it's active? Does it seem like, it's really quiet? Just trying to, perception on the house, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have to roll to hear that it's definitely not quiet. It seems like it's a party going on, especially to the left side of it. But like where she's standing, doesn't seem much is going on behind her. Like it's not like woo woo nightclub. But you can also there's a man resting on the staircase, passed out. It doesn't seem like he's conscious.
I want to do a bit of tracking with the dog now that we've heard that she has hooves. I want to look about and see if there is any records of tracks that go from person's feet to hooves, and does it look like there was a scuffle there, and I can do that at an advantage with Lancelot.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell
so
yeah.
that would be,
But it's gonna be a tricky
fine.
freaking challenge.
I've got for my talent for Bloodhound, I've got +2 for that, and I've got +3 dice for Lance, and then I suppose this is a vigilance roll for tracking, so that's 2 for vigilance and 3 for logic. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Right.
Watch her fail.
Listen, did I roll 6 dice and get no successes? Yes, but we're going to roll 4 more. Nice. Okay, 2 successes.
Nah, you would not say that you see anything that looks like hooves on the tracks, but you do notice blood. What's something that could be blood, like having been dragged.
So Lancelot gets a scent in his nose and leads us over, and we have a look at it. Well, how close to the house is it?
The tracks leading into the house.
We should just knock on the door. I feel like we should.
You think?
I don't know what I think. This is extremely, curious. Does this not look like blood to you?
You said it, not me, but I must admit that Lance is certainly riled by it. That's a good boy. I suppose I'm worried about going in the front door because I feel like if we do, she'll just turn us out right away. It sounds like that's what she's done to others. That's what she did to Amelia. So if we want to get further than she did, I think we need to start asking ourselves some questions about what a woman with hooves, with an interest in young men, who chases them down and wants to keep them as pets, is. I don't think we've really crossed that line with one another. Talking about weird shite.
Lydia, when you say like with hooves, Lydia's just like pensive, and she says, with hooves. And she reaches into her breast pocket and pulls out a little notebook. And it's very worn. And it's not quite like a notebook, like it's like a little bound book. And I don't remember, Ellie, if I told you this, but Lydia has a book of her father's that he had given to her, and hoping that it might have some information possibly about, like demons, hooves, like something related, maybe.
Yeah, like you know that there are definitely a bunch of Vaesen who have who like especially those types of preying on the men in the forest types of Vaesen. I think you need to see this woman first and like observe her.
Yeah, I think that she's just like flipping through the book, and she has the same thought. Like she's just like, as a police officer, she's like, I don't have enough information. I don't know.
So what's that then?
Oh,
what are you looking at?
This is from my father. It's sort of like information on. Oh boy, how do you explain the unexplained? It's a book that he put together from experiences that he had and my granddad had with mysterious is what they would call it.
I'm surprised you hadn't ended up at Rose House.
Oh,
soon.
they always send me to Rose House. I
There's
just
lots of
didn't know
people
that
with-
anybody else was like me. I just thought they sent people to Rose House who they didn't want to deal with.
Well, it's people who can see that sort of thing who normally people don't want to deal with. So, I guess what I'm saying is I ain't never written anything down, but I have felt, I mean, my sight is a bit fucked, but I have felt things and understood, observed things before. So if we need to talk about that sort of thing, we can, and I won't think you're crazy as long as you promise not to think that I am also crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy. I mean, I've seen tons of stuff. I can't wait to talk about it because I couldn't really talk to nobody, but also I would tell my dad and my granddad and they would think I was a kid, but they would think I was, just being a kid and having little fantasies and whatnot, but I could see it. I could see what they saw. Now reading the book, I realised we were seeing the same things,
That's incredible. And, I am a bit newer at Rose House, so they all sort of start telling stories and then disappearing into dark rooms and things and leaving me out of it. This could be our first chance to really get something down. I mean, obviously I know you won't make something of yourself in the Force, but I mean, we could be a team at Rose House. There are other teams out there. I just haven't been invited to be on one. And that's all there is, friend. After service, if you're not working for somebody like that, you're on your own, and this is it. Listen, I digress. I think you're right, and you've observed more of this than I have, so I say we do what you want to do. We go up there to that house, maybe see if we can wake that feller on the stairs before we go in, and we just have it out with this fine lady.
All right.
And as the two of you are getting ready to approach the house, we zoom in on Lydia. And then we fade into a dark, creepy hallway. And there's a young Lydia standing, waiting for something. There's torches along the walls to give some light, but the darkness is pretty imposing. And based on the humidity in the air, we can assume it's a cellar or dungeon of some kind. And there's a door further down the corridor with voices inside. And Lydia, you've been asked to stay outside and guard the door by your father, who went in earlier. After a while, you hear footsteps of someone approaching, and it's a doctor in a long coat. And he nods towards you and enter the other room. You get a quick glance inside, and that reveals a table and a body lying on top of it. There are several men surrounding the table, The doctor, he forgets to close the door. Yeah, what do you want to do, Lydia?
I think Lydia is absolutely going to try to, like, sneak into the room, or at least, like, get close enough to the open door to see or hear what's going on.
Roll stealth check.
Okie dokie. 1 success.
Oh, good. I mean, it's good enough for them to not, like, turn around and close the door, so you're definitely hearing what they're saying, and you see more of what's going on. How did it get this far up? They're usually not up here at this time of the year. It's the first one I've seen this big. Something's definitely causing a migration. And what you see, Lydia, is the pale body of a female corpse. But outside of the face and the upper body, something is very, very different. As you can see, scales. They're covering her lower parts. And instead of hands, there are fins shaped like sharp, bony claws. And then she has a fish tail. And with the modern eyes, you would assume that this is a mermaid. But the most disturbing thing about this is her face, because it seems like it's frozen into an almost unnatural snarl, as if the last thing that happened to her before she died was this painful scream.
That is nightmare fuel. I think Lydia is, like, frozen, staring at it.
Lydia! Your dad says. I told you to wait outside. This is not for you.
I am outside. I am outside. What's that, Dad? What is that?
You don't... I told you to wait outside. This is not for you. You're not ready. You're not ready. And then he shuts the door. But from inside you can hear it's like, is she gonna be a problem? And then you hear your dad say, no, the women don't understand this. I don't think she can even understand what she saw. Because they think the women don't have the sight. And then now, we're back. Newford House. You're standing here with your new companion. And maybe this time, you have a chance to solve a mystery without getting cock-blocked by your dad.
I hate that.
I hate that too. I wanna...
Yeah, I hate getting cock-blocked by my dad. Ugh,
Not helping.
worst.
Constantly. But it's what they do.
I kick the guy on the steps.
He is not responding. He's that... Like, you would think that he's dead. But then you realize he has...
Could I have a medicine check on him to see if he's alright?
He has a pulse, but he seems to be on something incredibly strong. You would, like, opium.
Could I smelling salts him or something?
I would say that for the time, like, this is not someone you want to spend time with.
Okay, great. All right.
He's passed out. And even if you were able to wake him up, he would probably just throw up and
not be helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Do you want to downplay the fact that you are dressed as a constable, or do you want that to? Do you want to lean into that?
No, you're probably right. People get right nervous around the police. You know what? That's a good idea. And I take off my hat and I take off my jacket. So I'm pretty much wearing like an undershirt, I guess, tucked into pants. And I kind of fold the jacket up and carry it under my arm. Knock on the door.
The door opens. A young man standing there. He's about 25, dressed up in typical fashion for the time, a velvet jacket, a soft collared shirt. He's not very tidy. And his brown hair is a mass with wild curls, held down by accumulated oils from lack of washing. He doesn't look very healthy. And his pale blue eyes are deep sunk and bloodshot, telling of considerable recent indulgence.
Hello? I am Violet Morgan. I was, she is, I don't know why this is gonna happen, but chaos reigns. She says, I am looking for some help. I thought maybe someone in this house might know a thing or two about love and how to write about it.
Lydia is like mouth agape, turns toward her like, what?
Really? You want to talk about love?
Right. Well, a friend of mine said our brother was a good poet. His name is Martin, and I was hoping maybe he might be able to write a love letter for me.
At the mention of Martin, he just completely clamps shut. Sorry, Anne.
Oh no.
Great idea. Immediately lost it. Well, you should talk to her then. And he opens the door.
Is it going to be trouble? Maybe you could teach me how to write about love.
I don't know. She's been expecting you. I was asked to fetch you.
Oh.
The both of us, or just her who's asking about love?
I don't know. She said get the door and then get them into the parlor room. Is what I was told.
What was your name?
My name is George.
Alright.
I'm an artist.
What kind of art do you do?
I'm a poet.
Solid profession, George?
I'm also a poet. Lydia blurts out.
Never mind. I'm actually an artist. I draw things because I have a sketchbook, pencils, and paints.
Wow. I've never heard of an artist needing to list off their list of materials to prove that they are capable. But you know what?
George,
good on ya.
It is... George, it's a bit nippy out. Could you show us to the parlor, please? I'd like to pass the threshold of the door.
All right. Come in. And...
Beefed it
The
again.
triplets are at it again.
And as soon as you walk in, you follow George through this, what feels like a dark cave. There's thick velvet curtains that cover all of the windows inside, leaving the room lit only by the glow of these incense burners that fill the air with a sickly and bewildering mixture of scents. There's red stains on the walls and the furniture, which might be wine, but it also might be blood. And since you did a good check earlier, you can kind of assume that it is blood. And smoke fills the air from people smoking inside. I mean, this is like suffocatingly awful. And everywhere there are bodies. Not dead bodies, but poets and artists just lying there intoxicated, pale, looking exactly like George.
Can I give Lance like a signal that we've developed to say, like, I want you to find that scent and see if you can identify which person's blood if they're in this hallway when we pass them?
Absolutely. Yeah, but if you tell him to try to do that, then he can be on his way and do that. But George leads you into the parlor, which is a less messy room, and there's more lights coming in from the windows, and she's still standing there, from the same spot that she was observing you from from before. And she has her back turned to you.
What does her feet look like?
She's wearing a long green gown, so you can't see the feet. And she has long black hair.
Pardon me, you must be Miss Danville, I take it?
Indeed I am.
Do you prefer Kitty? I heard your name was also Kitty.
What, she's taken aback by that, no, I believe I would prefer Mrs. Danville, thank you.
Mrs. Danville it is. Want to make sure I get the, names in order. She's so scary.
And who might you be, my nervous friend?
Oh, Mia.
Violet is just staring at this woman. I think she means you.
Oh, okay. I'm Lydia B. Thurngood II. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine.
I'm a poet.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
And you?
I am named Violet Morgan, and I'm afraid I'm a terrible writer. I was hoping to get some help from some of the writers here.
Well, you must excuse my guests. The artistic spirit requires certain conditions in order to flourish. As I'm sure you both are aware, as you both are. Like you say, artists.
In training, sure.
So I'm assuming you're here because you're looking for residency?
I didn't expect such an offer, but I mean, we don't really have anywhere to go, and we heard that this is where you take in artists of our type and whatnot.
I'm sorry, I did not meant that as an offer. That was merely a question.
We thought maybe people like us, and she takes Lydia's hand, and she says, perhaps you know something about being a woman alone in the world, facing societal expectations. We thought maybe he would have some advice or be able to help us for a time to stay out of trouble.
All I know is that you are alone in the world and you have to make your own way. You can't live off of charity from others.
It's interesting. When we were doing research on where we might be able to speak to other like-minded artists, we found out this you'd only been in operation here with your salons for a few years, and after the unfortunate death of your husband, Mr.
You've been
Danville.
doing research on me. You
Well,
have.
not on you, just looking for somewhere where we could go to speak to others like us.
Tell me, what do you write, Miss Morgan?
She like grips onto that leather handle just a little bit more for her dog, and she says, I write about what I see in nature, trying to make little rhymes here or there. As my sight goes, I try to put it down so that I can remember what it was like.
And how about you?
I write about my dad, who I lost, mostly. That kind of stuff.
Death can be quite inspiring. Unfortunately, your application has been denied. I am not in need of any more artists.
Oh, well, that is a shame.
How tall are you? I'm sorry, you're just quite tall for a lady. I myself am on the shorter side, and I'm always so taken aback by beautiful women who are so tall, if you don't mind me asking.
I'm right here, but sure.
You are also... I'm not...
It's fine.
I'm not tearing other people down, but building others up. I'm just...
Curious about how tall
How
you are.
tall are you?
You can tell that she's getting annoyed
Yeah.
at the behavior,
Okay.
but
Alright.
as you're babbling, she turns to you and looks at you with this very intense stare, waiting for you to finish. Which if someone did that to me, I tend to talk more, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is there a question? Is there a serious question? You're asking a lady how tall she is.
I was just thinking woman to woman. It wouldn't be offensive. Sorry if I offended.
I believe I am perhaps slightly above average.
I did have an actual question. Thank you for answering that. Sorry to ask it. It is a shame that you're not accepting applications. Are you full? How many people do you have staying with you right now?
I am not necessarily keeping count. Artists that are accepted into this residency, they come and go as they please. Sometimes it's a full house, sometimes it's less. But I would say we would be around 25 at most, and around 15 at the very least.
Well, the reason we thought we might be able to come here, and I'm sorry that you've seen fit to deny our applications, such as they are, is because a friend of ours had said he was coming out here to join you. Martin?
Ah, Martin Beddoes.
Might we be able to see him before we go?
He left a month ago.
Do I think
I haven't
she's
seen him.
lying about that?
Why don't you roll a... What's a sense motive in Spassen again? Is it observation?
Yeah, I think it's observation.
Why don't you roll an observation against her manipulation?
Okay.
Wait, that's revealing that I'm lying.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
I mean, we know.
Okay, that is 2 successes.
She's 100p lying.
Oh, he couldn't have left a month ago because, well, there was that wedding for his sister, but he didn't come back for that, and that was less than a month ago, so...
Oh, right, sorry, he probably came back, I remember now.
Might we be able to have a look for him amongst your students?
Oh, he's not in the house.
Well, you said people come and go as they please, so how would you be tracking him?
I always know who's in the house.
Oh, you just said that you're not sure who's in the house.
I said what I said.
Which was that you're not sure and that you don't keep track, but somehow you know he's still here. Or you know he's not here.
I mean, we came all the way out here. I'm from London proper. I'm gonna have to travel all the way back. Could we at least go to a salon and enjoy the company of your other artists?
I don't want to be impolite. It's
But
just
get the
that I
fuck
don't
out.
think... Yeah. It's just that I don't think your kind fits with my kind.
And what?
Now, regarding to Martin, I meant when I said I wasn't sure how many resides here is that I didn't mean how many in total resides here at one given point. However, I do know that Martin is not here because I seem to remember that he wanted to visit the Lake District and see the landscapes because he wanted to be inspired.
Would you be able to... You know, I do feel a bit like we should try and find him. My dog has a real keen sense of smell. Do you have anything that belonged to him so we might be able to try and track him down in the Lake District?
I don't think that would be appropriate at this time, and I must ask you if there's anything else that you needed from me. I must ask you to leave and not come back. Your application has been denied. Sorry. I know what it's like to be a struggling artist. You can roll an observation, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Both of you.
I'll do that.
And also, is any of you from heritage from Scotland?
No.
I'm from Cornwall.
Right.
I've got 1 success here.
Ooh, 2 successes? 2 successes.
So, outside of what my accent, Eleanor's accent might be as this lady, you're hearing traces of Scottish from this woman, even though she otherwise has a pretty, like, she speaks like most of the other people in this neighborhood.
Okay.
But I must ask you to not disturb the artists. I can't have a dog run around. And also, I've invited you into my house. Why would I let you snoop around, treating me like I'm some sort of criminal?
We're not treating you like you're a criminal, madam. We're just trying to find a friend of ours.
Yes, and I've told you several times he is not in the house.
Right.
He left.
Well,
His sister came by as well. Was that a coincidence?
we just know she was getting married. Wanted to make sure he was attending the wedding, but we hadn't heard that what happened after that. We just knew he didn't show up at the wedding. We're actually a friend of the groom. Like, she's lost herself in the lie. Like, it's very clear that she's just creating these stories for herself.
The wedding was beautiful.
Colors were blue and gold and white because weddings...
Everyone came out wearing their best garb for it.
I had
It really
steak.
was a sight.
The first dance was lovely.
I had the fish.
Where was it, the wedding? Answer at the same time, the two of you. One,
One, two, three, London.
London.
Very well. She gets up, walks over to another cabinet. Would you like to stay for some tea, or would you rather leave? Because I'm parched.
Oh, I thought you wanted us to go. Or did you want us to have your tea?
Well, you're apparently not leaving, and I'm not gonna violently
Can
kick you
I
out.
take the tea and smell it to see if I can identify any, like, horrifying substances in it? So I'm guessing that's vigilance.
Nope, it's
Observation.
observation.
Well, that's terrible. Are we sure it's observation? Because observation is attached to empathy, and all of my, like, tracking and bloodhound and investigations are attached to vigilance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks to be you then.
Okay. Okay, one success.
How about you, Sid?
I can try. I think I'm kind of looking to Violet for this because no successes. Yeah, I don't think I would think about it. I think I'm being a good Brit and I'm like gonna take the tea.
Yep. All right. Violet, you're noticing right as you're taking a sip that Kitty is raising her cup to her lips but never drinks.
Interesting.
However, Lydia, you don't notice that. The tea is drugged with laudanum.
Uh-oh.
Toxicity 6.
Oh no.
And we'll find out what that means next week because I need to look over those rules. Holy shit!
Oh no! I drink toxics!